Let's talk a little bit more about air and water. What can I do as an individual to help out the situation with the air, the situation with the water, beyond the pesticides that you already mentioned?
Well, there's a lot we can do as individuals. I tell myself that fairly often, even when I'm enjoying roasting marshmallows in the backyard with my kids, because I know that campfires produce a lot of particulates. But I also value the outdoor experience my kids are having. So part of what I do is to recognize a trade-off. I try to put it together when I'm choosing to have a campfire. I try not to do that willy-nilly as often as I might. Maybe I try to balance that with another trip on my bicycle instead of the car than I might have made. I just try to keep kind of a running consciousness for myself. I try not to be too harsh with my judgments of myself and not of others. That's no fun. But I just try to be aware of my actions. With every action I make, I try to stop just for a second and think, what am I doing to the air quality around me, the air that I breathe and my children breathe? What am I doing to the amount of water we have and will have in future? When I have a shower and that water goes down the drain and into the wastewater plant and back out into the river, I haven't done anything helpful for biodiversity. But if I use some of that water to water a garden, where I'm decreasing my need to eat food that's transported long distances, I've made a contribution to air quality, and I've made a minor deduction to water amount. One of the most important things I think I do as an individual for water quality, particularly for people who live downstream, is think about what I'm pouring down the drain. And think, therefore, what I'm using to clean surfaces in my house, and what then I pour down the sink, which goes to the wastewater treatment plant, yes, but ultimately it goes back to the river. And nutrients are one of the most dangerous things we put into water. So if I were to fertilize my lawn, and if I were to over-fertilize it especially, and that fertilizer goes into the storm sewers and into the river, it's causing an increase in plant growth. Seems like a good thing at first, except that it causes so much increase in plant growth that it causes a process called eutrophication. Even though it's based on happily growing plants, is one of the most polluting things we can do to water just by accident.
Okay, so part of what I hear you saying is that we should be thinking about this within our own urban environment, but we should also be considering that there are people and plants and animals that live downstream from us and that we don't want to hurt their biodiversity.
Yes, absolutely. Just as we hope the people living upstream from us are having the same kind of thoughts.
So we want the people in Devon to be thinking about us.
Yes, we do, and Hinton and Edson, and we want the industries adjacent to that river to be thinking about us too. It's been said that water will be the commodity most sought after in the coming decades, and that the wars of the future will be fought not over oil, but over water. So it would be a great time for all of us to think much more carefully about how we use water and in what condition we send our water downstream.
Colleen, we need to wrap up. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess one, just a commendation for the city for embarking on this plan, The Way We Green. I think it's great, and I really hope people will get engaged and get excited and enjoy the benefits of making a greener city.
And now that we have everybody's interest piqued in biodiversity, where can Edmontonians go for more information?
You can learn a lot about these things from many sources. The internet is a quick and accessible source for almost any question a person could ask. To just learn more, I would really recommend a new program the city has called the Master Naturalist Program. That's out of the Office of Natural Areas, and it is a program designed to just provide a lot of information about biodiversity, what it is, how it can be promoted, and gives people an opportunity to spread that information and help others with it. The John Jansen Nature Center, the museum, are great sources of information as well. And really within one's own community, it's surprising how much interest and momentum there is already. So check out your community league.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us today and sharing all this very useful information about biodiversity. I hope that this gets everybody really thinking about how they can apply this within their own scope of influence here in Edmonton.
You're welcome. Thank you, Marvin.